I think it's safe to say that no team wants us betting in their favor ever again, because so far this has already taken a very drastic turn in terms of our predictions. Sako Gaming managing to grab the first win in the series, and that was a really strong showing that they had here, RMC.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still sticking with IMT here. I think they can bounce back. Yeah, it looked really rough, but there were glimmers of hope, later in the game. So I'm sticking to my predictions here.
I'm not. I'm all in Doxa. Doxa diff, baby. Like, what in the hell was that, man? No way I'm with IMT after that game. Like, honestly, I haven't seen a performance like that in a hot minute, like watching Academy or Amateur, but that was absolutely crazy. Like, that guy deserves so much praise. That was honestly, like, phenomenal performance. So, yeah, bless that guy, man. Holy sh.
Yeah, it was literally the Doxa show happening out there. And in the interview that he was having with Cubby as well, they were talking about being an orgless team. No team that's already made it onto the finals is also orgless. What do you think that speaks to people in this scene, that two of these teams that are performing so well don't have an org to be backing them up?
I think it just speaks to the competitiveness of Amateur, right? Driven players get things done here. So, if it does happen that way, I'm happy for the Amateur scene. And I think it says a lot to the franchises up there as well, the orgs, that, hey, there are a lot of good players here to pick up. You just need to do your scouting work.
Yeah, honestly, just all stems back to, like, the passion of it, too. Like, before, like, franchising took place, it was just all, like, relegations and, like, amateur team just, like, really fighting for their spot. So I remember, like, even for me, like, I had to play through relegations. That's no more. So just players like this just coming up and, like, really just stressing, giving it their all, and just really just trying to make a name for themselves is really just what I love to see. And honestly, like, major pride. I didn't expect that at all. Like, that guy truly stepped in. Like, honestly, that was insane. I want to see it again. Hopefully, no
We're
ban
still in
Zoe.
shock.
Yeah, that was great.
We still have another game in the series, so you very well could, honestly. Before we get to clips or anything, we'll take a quick look at the draft, because honestly, Doxa on the Zoe was something that made it through and was absolutely insane for this matchup.
Yeah, and I think the key takeaway from this is ban Zoe for next game here. That said, I think Taco had a lot of other good points on their draft as well. The Graves-Gragas matchup, I think Cozy played it very well and became a huge threat as well, which forced Immortals into pulling the trigger faster than they otherwise might have wanted to. They never really got to set up because there was always the threat of that split push taking their base. And Rollbacks on Tom Kench, man. I think you let the karma through, because the Tom Kench to me is scarier than the karma here for Rollbacks. He's just so clutch on it, kept so many people safe in a lot of those picks.
Like I was saying before too, like Taco Gaming, I wasn't expecting them really just to win ball lane, but they neutralized it like incredibly well versus the Kaelin first pick and like IMT's full win con. So like kudos to them as well.
That was fantastic job there. But we do have to keep going on the train to the Doxa show right here and start showing our clips. There was a lot to be picking from, but the first one was a really fun play that we saw coming out here, RMC.
Fun is one way to put it. Disgusting is another. Doxa here dodged almost every single skill shot, it feels like. Anime Girl and Chochi there couldn't even finish the job. They had to bring Winston in, and oh, that flash was just beautifully timed as well. It takes 3 people to kill Doxa, and even though Doxa goes down here, the problem is that it's drawn so many resources away from Immortals, and then you see Cozy just getting the free push top lane. It gets that Hullbreaker super early, and then that top side suddenly just gone. Yeah, Doxa did that.
Yeah, that's insane. The fancy feet happening over there, and Doxa not only did that, but this next clip, Lurlo, he did a lot more.
Yeah, honestly, I was pretty worried at first with the TP flank coming in, but it was, I don't know, after Ari came in, didn't hit the charm, it was just like, just completely lights out. He misses the bubble and the Q here first, but he's just so fed at this point that it honestly doesn't really matter. Like, if he doesn't die in the beginning, he'll eventually like pick up enough summer spells and just slowly roll them over, which he did, and just picked up the quad. I don't know, this guy's playing out of his mind. I wonder if he'll keep it up this set, but it was skill shot after skill shot after the first initial miss, so that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if he keeps this up going into the second game, then I do envision this just being a straight 2-0, because I mean, we've seen such fantastic things from Immortals AOE throughout the tournament, but with Doxa playing like that, there is no doubt in my mind. But what do you think that Immortals AOE can be doing to try and bring this into a game 3, other than just ban Zoe?
I mean, their draft as well. This particular game, they drafted almost totally for the early game, right? They needed Meech and Trevor to pop off. They needed Winston to get those early ganks as well. And I think I like the look of IMT when they do that, but there's no leeway, there's no margin for error. So I think going into next game here, if you just dropped a little bit of safety as well, a little bit of skilling insurance, there is an opportunity to come back. They were finding some really good picks towards the back end of those games there, and if it was almost any other AD carry but Caitlyn there, I know Jinx was banned away, Zeri was banned away, Aphelios was banned away, but if it had been one of those style champions which can scale up, I think they could have fought back a little bit harder. It just takes one team fight at Baron, at a turret, at Dragon, and suddenly IMT AOE would have been right back into it.
Yeah, I think in general for like IMT as well, I think they're playing to their strength, which is through bottom, but just make sure to involve mid lane. Like Winston had a situation in the last game where he like played too aggressive, and then that's when Zoe started getting going. So just make sure to make every play through mid first, and then translate that to bottom. And I think they'll have way much more success. So.
We'll have to see if they can play to that, or if it's just Doxa going to be carrying this team all the way into the finals. Remember, hashtag We Are Unified if you want to be giving us your thoughts on the game, as well as the Doxa diff that we're seeing out here on the Rift. But without further ado, it's time to be throwing it over to Beatdown Boulevard and Jolly for a next match.
Thank you, Sierra. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. And both of us have chosen Taco Gaming, at least for our predictions for the day. We're going to have to see if they can pull off another 2-0 sweep. We wanted 6 games. We already are guaranteed that one of those series didn't go to a full 3, so the most we could possibly get is 5, but that is if IMTA figures out how to shut down Trickster and Doxa. We talked about how strong this combo is for the side of Taco Gaming, and they are not holding anything back today. So far, it does look like it's the same bans across the board. However, Immortals has included the Zoe. Thank goodness, Beatdown.
You know what? And I definitely agree with RMC on the analyst desk. Not really feeling the Karma ban. You definitely got to be looking to prioritize that Tom Kench takeaway. And this one's interesting because now we haven't seen them go for the Aphelios. Now Taco Gaming are going to go for what looks like that Jinx Aphelios handshake. But I think everything else, if it goes at least similarly enough, I think this is still a good chance for Taco Gaming to be able to close things out here. But IMA now have that late game insurance the desk was hoping for, because, you know, even if you fall a little behind at 15 minutes, Jinx at 30 minutes and Caitlyn at 30 minutes, they're not the same.
Very different. Very, very different. And, you know, the desk echoed what we were saying before that first game started, of the early game is in favor of Immortals, right? And they need to execute that. They need to be able to pull that off. And they did for a tiny little bit, but certainly not to the point to actually like get them the snowball that we were talking about that they need here Beatdown. And so already having Jinx there, it gives them a bit more, like you said, late game opportunity. That is for sure. Plus, just in the overall, Jinx, I think right now in the meta is better, including the you know, having that global ultimate is pretty big in trying to steal away some of these objectives or trying to just kind of disrupt a team fight from afar. There's a lot of value within that, but it does look like Taco Gaming has at least found one of their save picks. That Graves has been locked in. There still is the flexibility for it, but I do think it's probably going to go back to Cozy again at the top lane. However, kind of depends too on what Immortals locks in, and it does look like it's going to be the Lulu that's paired up here with the Jinx, a very strong Enchantress support at the moment.
Right, and already, like, we haven't seen jungle come through here. You could just see a mid pick come through. Okay, so it is going to be the Jarvan instead. And I mean, this is good because you already know there's no Thresh coming through. If you jump on top of someone like Ryze, like Jinx with the Cataclysm, you have a good way of being able to burst them down if they don't have flash available. And I mean, the rest of Taco Gaming probably is just going to be looking to take away top laners from Anime Girl. They could try and ban the Gragas if they want to take that one away from him, but I think with how good Cozy was, they might just leave that one instead. They're going to take away split push threats like the Tryndamere that will exceed Cozy's ability to kind of have that map pressure we saw in game 1.
Xin might not be a bad one to ban out either. Just another big staple at the moment. I do like the Tryndamere ban away, actually, just to ensure that some of that other late game viability doesn't come through. That Undying Rage is insane, especially when you have members like the Graves and the Aphelios who are pretty vulnerable to somebody engaging that heavily. The Ahri is the second to last ban that Immortals has given themselves here, taken away, and there it is, Taco Gaming. They're echoing my thoughts on that. Don't allow the Xin to come through. That's too much initiation for this team. So that will be the final ban coming out of Taco. Immortals have one more selection to make before picking their final 2 champions.
So I'm thinking they probably just throw another one at Doxa in the mid lane here. There's still a lot of mid game options or mid champs available. You think things like Syndra. I think Orianna would actually be pretty good here overall. Something to just have Doxa be able to kind of fight for that mid priority like we were seeing before. Something that can do okay in the Rise and do good into the team fights. I know either way it's probably going to be mid, and they're going to save that last pick for Cozy there to give him that kind of counter matchup in the top lane.
No
Oh wait, I'm
way!
trolling. Cozy's playing Graves. There was a support pick on 4. They're gonna give Dox that last pick.
It's a lock-in for the Soraka. They don't care about the Tahm Kench this time. They've got a Jarvan. They've got the frontline initiator that they're looking for, but Immortals also recognize the value in a big split pusher, and Camille is up there and some of the best in the game, and also one of those that can, kind of play from behind, maybe get a little bit of recoverability. It's a lot harder for her, but that final lock-in is going to be the Volibear, and Taco Gaming, actually, that was their final ban in game number 1, so they had an idea that maybe this is going to be something that Winston is looking for again, and he actually picks it up. So much more survivability right now on the side of Immortals, but the damage is once again quite nutty coming out of Taco Gaming. We're gonna have to see if they do log in this Cassiopeia. I'd be surprised if that was picked over the Syndra. Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. The Cass into the Rise. We've seen how much of an impact somebody like Syndra can have here, but Taco Gaming, hey, if they're confident in that pick, I'm pretty confident in them.
I think for the most part too, you're thinking that, okay, we need to, they're looking for more of a scaling pick, something that will be able to do a lot more damage later on, just because of the fact that Rise right now is one of the, especially with things like the Ahri, LeBlanc taken out of the picture, is probably going to be the best at getting that mid priority. So instead of trying to contest it, Doxa wants the scaling pick, wants the late game damage, and because of IMA trying to move into him, I think Cass likes the comp IMA is going for at the moment there. So I think that ends up working out kind of well, and Taco Gaming are in that position where, kind of like last game, you get them to those later parts of the game, they get through that early game, they're going to be monstrous. Like, you're thinking about Cass late game is insane DPS, Aphelios is good if you can set him up, and you have the Jarvan to do that, and you have the Soraka, who's going to be offering a lot of healing later on into the game. Of course, on the other side here, I really like the Camille pick in particular, because the thing is, Soraka heals from her own HP pool. You can get those flank angles. You can follow up the dive with the Volibear and really threaten that backline as well. So it's going to be... they have a lot of tools in this mid game to be able to go for dives, go for team fights, and snowball their way to a win.
Yeah, both of these teams are totally okay with navigating their way to the late game. I mean, like you talked about, Beatdown, there's so much scaling. When you think of scaling, for me, scaling, Cassiopeia is the one, right?
She's
I
up
mean,
there.
obviously there are a ton, but she is just an insane scaler, and we know how much Doxa can carry on his shoulders, and with Trickster on somebody like the Jarvan, a lot quicker clear times now, a lot more of an opportunity to get some early initiations, and we also know that Immortals is probably going to try to focus on getting that bottom lane actually accelerated like they were trying to do in game number 1, and I do think, the input that we got from Lorlo as well is very important there, trying to make your way down from the top, right? Doing something within the mid lane and then navigating towards the bottom and making an impact there. That really also helps with the objectives, trying to pick up those dragons, which I know Immortals had taken the first one, but none after that. And pretty much after that first Rift Herald too, every single objective went over to Taco Gaming at that point on. Much more consistency in the overall, though, both looking at the early game and the late game, whereas Immortals before, they're like, all right, we need this early game, we can snowball it into something, and they just kind of got stalled out after they picked up the first couple of kills of the game.
Yeah, and this time around, IMA have very clear ways to play things out in the early game and in the late game. You have Jinx, Lulu, Rise, excellent scaling into the late game team fights, and it's in the hands of Meech, that player we keep highlighting on Immortals AOE, how good he is in the late game, how crazy he is in team fights, and he has the tools to succeed in this composition here. So this is how IMA are looking to come back in the series. Go for that potential reverse sweep, take us to the game 3, and Taco Gaming, on the other hand, can we see another mammoth of a game from Doxa on the Cassiopeia like he did with the Zoe?
There's always that opportunity, especially if he gets accelerated as quickly as he does. And yeah, I mean, honestly, the thing that really stood out for me, especially when we were just watching those replays, it was both Doxa and Trickster their fancy footing ability to just avoid everything, not only that, but some of the preemptive plays that we had, right? The Sleepy Trouble bubble that was directly into the dash that we saw coming out of Shochi was, I mean, chef's kiss kind of a situation, right?
I'm gonna be watching that clip later.
Oh, same. Yeah, that one, honestly, I wish I could have clips as like my banner for Twitter, because that would be something I would totally put up there
That
just
would be
every
cool.
single time I'm right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Twitter, come
me.
on,
We
do
gotta
that
talk
instead of
Twitter.
NFT profile pictures. Come on.
Exactly. Give us some some movement up at the top of the page. That would be pretty slick to be able to show off some plays like that. But it's not just because Doxa had the Zoe. Yes, when we think about Doxa and Zoe, you know it's something that you never want to allow that player to have, but they're just incredible, especially on these scalers, especially on these champions that, you know, you have to navigate around. You have to watch out for these potential ganks. So that's going to be the expectation from Doxa as well, where he's pretty self-sufficient in this lane, able to take a lot of these fights on individually, meaning Trickster will probably have a lot more focus towards the bottom side, and again, it's going to be early in the game. But I also like Immortals AOE, their side lane ability is like everybody, right? You've got Camille, you've got Rise, you've got Jinx. That's insane in terms of getting lane pressure, and then also, you know, considering the ultimates that they have on top of that with the Realm Warp from the Rise to reposition, having a teleport for any of these side laners to move forward is going to be crazy. So that is the other side of it, is Taco Gaming. If they lose one fight, it could be crucial in terms of Immortals being able to recover so much more than they might be in one of those instances.
Right, and two things there on Immortals side as well. One, yeah, they have a really good 1-3-1 comp. They do have a way where they have Shochi can Realm Warp and play to the side lane there for Anime Girl. And that's kind of my second point here, where Anime Girl is a player I think we should highlight a little bit, just because throughout this tournament, he's definitely improved. He's definitely been playing a lot better and had good performances. And now in this game too, in this game where Immortals have their backs against the walls, tournament lives on the line, he has a chance on this Camille to really have that impact in this game.
We'll have to see them execute that as perfectly as possible. We know that Taco is also just on point today. Some teams have bad days. Some players have bad days. Some teams, I guess some players have, you know, days where they've got food poisoning and can still 2-0 the enemy team, though. So Taco Gaming really feeling it today. Immortals, they know what is at stake here. And so I do feel like this game is going to be a lot slower than the first one, most likely, at least for Immortals. Just try to push things out, you know, to this late game stage. Whereas Taco, if they could get the ball rolling early on, they know that they can really put IMT up against a wall. And since they both have some decent scaling, really late game works out well for both of these teams. I do imagine, though, that we're going to see quite a few of those quotes maybe down at the bottom, some of those questions asking players, though, just because I can only anticipate a lot of trepidation moving forward, especially for IMT.
Now, do you actually see pretty... Oh, wait, hold on. What's your favorite model? Trickster, live fast, die young.
There
I like
it is.
it. There it is.
You know what? Trickster definitely lives fast. I can tell you that much, especially based off that Cade game that we saw. And if dying young is what it takes, Trickster is okay with navigating that kind of way. And we've seen him sacrifice himself so many times for players like Doxa, because this is really one of these combos to behold, just in terms of any duo, any pair in amateur. Look at the damage that Dox is already dealing to Shochi. Of course, you got to watch out for your mana. It does have those corrupting potions. And of course, we got another question down there. Which teammate would you trust with your life on a deserted island, and why? We can see Cozy has the most points. Cozy, because he's a nice guy, and Doxa were Korean gang. So it looks like a few of these members calling each other out on their own team. That's nice. You know what? If you want to take a teammate onto a deserted island, hey, that's better than most of the teammates I've ever had in League of Legends. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, God, yeah. Let's not even get into that one. Early game. We saw an early ward placed by Shochi, so they have an idea of where Trickster should be pathing towards, and they are going to be aware of that timer where he shows up on this bottom side of the map here. So, as you said, things are kind of slow right now in the early parts, but pretty soon we're looking at Bear, we're looking at Jarvan. These are junglers who want to be active, who want to try and make some plays in the early game. So I'm expecting that we are going to see that one come through here. And the pathing actually from Winston is interesting. We usually see him early path to bottom. Instead, he's actually going to fight for the top grab, because it looks like he doesn't actually want to try and contest Trickster for it.
I do like that Cozy goes up there, decides to throw down. Actually, didn't even get the vision down. you would have expected moving forward, trying to catch out Winston, and the pings did come in response from Anime Girl. Takozy just kind of poking his head, maybe looking for opportunities for Taco Gaming.
Oh,
Speaking of Taco, they're feeling really good down here on the bottom side. Winston may be looking for something onto Cozy. Cozy does have the dash, of course, so he's going to be able to walk away from that one. The E comes out, but Winston not capable of locking down that Q to get the stun. Ends up taking a tower shot as well.
Yeah, I don't think he got the shield off his E either, so it is a gank opportunity. Doesn't really come to fruition there. That means Cozy still fine in this top lane. And with that being said, too, Trickster hasn't actually looked for anything yet. He's backed. He's got the double longsword because no flashes here on Enemy Girl. It could really threaten him.
Knows there's no vision. Ooh, Anime Girl actually walking down at the perfect moment, trying to get some vision down there. Cozy's gonna flash forward to ensure that he gets the first blood on that one. Anime Girl, the first to go down.
Oh my god, and look at it. The wave is actually pushing towards Cozy, so he can hold on to that on his side of the lane as well. It's a really nice play coming through here. Really nice gank from Trickster. And this is kind of what Taco Gaming do need to worry about, because in the late game, even though they scale really well, so too IMT AOE. So early leads only help you here, especially when you're playing something like the Jarvan, and you have the power to get them.
Cozy's gonna take a lot of damage right there. The hook shot utilized by Anime Girl to try to pop off damage. That is not a lot of mana available for Cozy, but the whole point of this is that they want to entice Anime Girl into the fight. Does look like Trickster's gonna get the jump. The hook shot comes through. That means that we've got Bear moving forward. Throws the Sky Splitter down. Doesn't quite get the shot he's looking for. He has to flash away from this one, though. Anime Girl trying to sustain the rest of the team. It's gonna take a flag. It doesn't get followed up by the drag here. Shochi is here to try to recover, but my goodness, IMT AOE barely getting away with a sliver of health.
Well, this one is going to be tough. They're trying to make the dive happen, Jolly. They're proxying this wave. Can they make it work?
That's the lockdown on it to Cozy on the backside. Trickster with the pop-up. Shochi taking a lot of damage. Cozy will end up going down, but it's one there for Trickster. Can he find the second onto Anime Girl? He does get the level up in time to match up with Anime Girl. The flag is all it takes. A double kill, and now Shochi, you gotta run away. He's actually gonna use the Realm Warp to escape from that fight.
He took some of the minions with him.
Yeah, I love that. Take the cannon with you.
That was a risky play to go for here. I mean, Jarvan, when he's rooted, he can still flag and drag. So he was able to get a big knock-up. He was still able to allow this trade to go favorably for the side of Taco Gaming. And, like, realistically, Cozy, he gets to recall and come back to his lane. But Anime Girl, who also died, didn't get to do the same thing. So you're finding some of these early leads come through from Taco Gaming. It's been all Trickster at the moment if we talk about junglers.
Speaking of junglers, Winston down here at the bottom. Rovex gets the flash away. Lynx just trying to pick up a kill here on to Trevor, but 3v1 is not going to work out when Rovex is so far behind. The heal was used by Lynx, who still had his flash up and available, but decided to just take the L, take the death.
Yeah, I think he was done regardless. So he had, I think Red and White was hoping he could take one with him, which would have been the absolute best case scenario. But that's just a successful play from IMT AOE. Winston, who hasn't been able to find much early, finds a positive play there on that bottom side of the map, and it's on Meech, of all people. So this is how IMT usually play the game. It's for Meech, their AD carry. And on this Jinx pick, getting them an early lead, that's an A+.
I feel pretty good about that one. Of course, Trickster has picked up that double kill, so he's feeling good on his own. Maybe not anymore, though, because it's going to be Trevor. Manages to grab the glitter lance. Shochi picks up the kill, says, hey, Winston, did you want a dragon on a platter? Here you go.
Yeah, that's huge. IMT, they get the kill onto Shochi, who picked up a shutdown, and you pave the way for Winston, like you said, to pick up this first dragon. You are able to use some of that early pressure you got to pick up the neutral objective. It means that now it's IMT AOE who are managing to kind of get themselves back into this one here. And again, we talked about how important it is. They just got to go even. Realistically, I think in the later parts of the game, IMT AOE's comp is really good in the team fight. IMT are one of the teams we know team fight really well too, so you just want to make sure that you can keep yourselves in an borderline even game state.
Yeah, because, you know, you've got good late game from both of these guys. The Hextech Ultimatum already coming out onto Cozy, who does have the level advantage. Going to try to turn to Trevor here. The Ignite comes out. It's going to be Anime Girl with an easy pickup right there, thanks to the help of Trevor.
Yeah, that was a nice roam. Usually we talk about how enchanters can't have as much impact as maybe those engaged supports, but Trevor did just fine there, contributing to that 2v1. And now, Taco Gaming wants to see if they can find something mid. Won't be able to. And Cozy with no TP means that it's not safe for Trickster to go for this Rift Herald right now. He's going to have to back off, continue farming up, and that gives Winston time to just go ahead and farm his top side and then move up for the Herald if he wants to, because Anime Girl's reset. He spent his gold, and if we look at this top side of the map, I think IMT are in a good spot to take this Herald.
They are. There is vision here for Taco Gaming, at least on that. So they'll be aware when IMT AOE does decide to make a move on that if they have the positioning. It is Trickster who manages to go back in on this one. They can see that vision has been placed by IMT AOE thanks to the ward that has been placed there in the back by Taco. But Winston not going for this one, picking up that Gromp. Doxa is going to be here just in case it's necessary, as Winston moves in at the very last moment. Maybe going to throw a Sky Splitter or something out there. And that is it. Just comes a little bit too late. So that Rift Herald going over to Taco Gaming. Trickster picks it up.
Yeah, that's nice. Taco Gaming needed something like that to continue that snowball that they were trying to build. Now with that Rift Herald, you have a couple of options. You could try and shut down Reach Bot and use it there. You could just make the play in mid lane. This again, Doxa, Smat, who played great in game 1 on the Zoe, getting in these early turret plays, setting Shochi behind on this Rise is a valid option.
It is. Trickster finds the Cataclysm. Not a ton you can do with that if you don't have Flash like Shochi at the moment. It's the pickup by Trickster to take him down. At least even things out a little bit here in the mid lane.
We talked about why. Oh, no, Trickster's
Trevor?
okay.
Trickster gets
Yeah, he's just
Glitter
being
Lance.
annoying.
Get a little bit of a slow, but yeah, it's just Trevor being annoying, doing what Trevor does best. And as a big roamer, it's an opportunity now. Winston is able to follow it up with the Q. The ultimate to come out, though, onto Trevor by Doxa. Trevor, a force flash away.
Oh, the
Doxa
Ignite. Oh, wait a minute,
does end up getting the pickup.
Wait, he
The
wins?
Stormbringer doesn't
Okay.
actually hit. So close for Doxa to be able to potentially pick up another one, but still, at least a 1-for-1 in that situation spells okay for Taco.
I mean, it could be worse. Doxa getting the 1-for-1 is good, but Taco Gaming still are looking for more of an early lead there. We saw the healing from Rovex and how impactful it was in that fight. As now we're actually gonna see this bot lane play.
Ooh, Soraka goes down. Lynx is able to pick up one at least right there, but
Wow.
it's Meech that stays alive with a double kill, currently sitting at 3-0-0. Winston is absolutely everywhere right now. Beatdown?
Yeah, there it is. Early on, Trickster was the one who was getting the better of him, but this time around, Winston, he's here. He's making plays, and he's setting up Meech for success. 3-0 and 0 on this Jinx. Lynx he's been going through it right now. He managed to get 1 kill in trade, but the fall behind is still there. You can see how hard it is for Lynx to be able to play out this laning phase. The Baldy Bear keeps showing up, forcing summoners, taking you down. At least now, Lynx, as he went for the Mythic first, doesn't have his tier 2 boots, has the Mythic, and that is a pretty big spike here for the Aphelios. So you can try and make a play happen around this dragon. Trickster has the Cataclysm back up. Shochi doesn't have Flash again because of earlier, and that means that he's still very vulnerable.
No Realm Warp either. It's about halfway off of cooldown, and Winston is still waiting for his ultimate to come off cooldown. Flash at about the exact same time as Shochi to ensure that they picked up the kill on that bottom play. So you're absolutely right there, Beatdown. Maybe an opportunity for Doxa or Trickster, or the two of them, to do something in the mid, but they're just setting themselves up for another dragon play. Winston coming around the backside. Rovex and Trickster might be able to find Winston out here, and that is the case. No Cataclysm necessary on this one. The Sky Splitter to come out to deal some damage. The Stormbringer on the backside, and there it is. The Cataclysm to come across, but right in time with the Blast Cone. A big play coming out of Shochi, but he gets responded to, and Lynx is able to pick that one up after using the Gale Force. That's what we love to see here. Taco Gaming setting themselves up now for their first dragon, second one of the game.
And this is what we keep talking about. This Jarvan can EQ even when rooted. So even if you get that Rune Prison up onto him, he's still able to knock you up and allow the team to jump on you. And I like that they're not going for the dragon right away. They drop Herald. They're getting gold into Doxa's pocket, which you love to see if you're a Taco Gaming fan. And even though they won't be able to break this turret, they're okay with how low it's gotten. You can basically sneeze on it and it's gone. And Taco, they're okay with not contesting for this dragon. They're gonna let that one go. Let Doxa spend all the gold he just earned, and just oh wow, actually that's kind of unfortunate. Nobody was around for the local gold.
Yeah, nobody picks that up. It's still the first tower going over to Taco. Cozy's gonna take a lot here. Hextech Ultimatum comes out. Not a ton you can do in this instance. The ultimate comes out, but he is ignited here. Can he stay alive though? The flash, the ulti, the realm warp comes in, and Shochi should be able to get the lockdown. Maybe some fancy footing from Cozy might be able to get him another shot or two off on Anime Girl, but no. Anime Girl picks up the takedown. Nice realm warp out of Shochi.
And Shochi tried, but he could not survive, even with the help from Rovex. Just showing that this is what we were talking about with Shochi's pick here on the rise. Trying to make these plays, trying to use the Realm Warp to play for Anime Girl. Oh, no. I saw her.
There's another Stormbringer, and not a lot you can do about that if you are Doxa. In fact, Trevor even there to participate in the kill at the very end. Trickster saying, maybe I can come. Nope, can't help you. Sorry, Doxa, you're out.
Yeah, nice timing on the Stormbreaker to be able to basically dodge the stun from that petrifying gaze, and it's just a nice play. Winston, he's all over the map at this point in the game. Got part of more than half the kills going on, and they're just on such key members here. You're getting gold for Shochi, you're getting gold for Meech, and they're the ones who are really going to be the bulk of your damage into the later parts of the game. IMT, this is looking like a lot better of a game from them than the first one, and at this pace, they're on pace to take this.
They really are. You know, it's not a massive lead that they've got. Of course, as we look at the gold, it's essentially evened out. That's because Taco has gotten several firsts for themselves. Trickster running away from Winston. That Q locks him down. The Sky Splitter not locking him in, though. Shochi is in the wings, maybe looking for somebody to step out of line. But Taco Gaming needs to be a little bit more careful than that, and I think they recognize it themselves.
Yeah, it is good for Trickster to be in the area, kind of read the play. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh my goodness, look at the damage coming out. Is it going to be enough out of Meech? No, thanks to the wild growth coming through onto Meech. Lynx, though, manages to stay alive. They managed to both dodge that Super Mega Death Rocket, and Rovex is able to keep Lynx alive barely. But overall, pretty successful fight for IMT in the bottom.
You get a lot of cooldowns out. You're able to really... Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Let's see, Winston takes that Hextech passage. Rovex is going to be the target here. The Sky Splitter should hit. The Q doesn't hit, but he should be able to get the Frenzy Ball off, and it's Shochi who comes in to pick up just the last touch there onto Rovex. It's now Winston, Shochi, and Trevor that are chasing down Lynx underneath this mid-tower. The Sky Splitter going to pop some damage off onto them, and Trickster, once again, just a little bit too late to the fight to really make an impact here. It's the Realm Warp that comes through, though. Anime Girl on the backside. Doxa is going to go down pretty quickly. There is at least a return kill onto Shochi here. The Cataclysm on the backside. Winston is the target, but is that who you want to target? Not when Meech is popping off this long-range damage. As that misses, Anime Girl finds the hook shot and should be able to follow it up with yet another kill, and IMT AOE are just running away with this one.
You see how strong and how good IMT are at skirmishing, and with the comp they have, Meech is just set up so well. 5-0-1 on the Jinx, picked up 2 from this fight alone. And they are really starting to pull away in this game. Almost 2,000 gold in their favor. It's just, you see how coordinated they are with that play coming through. The Realm Warp with the hook shot, and you can see it. You don't see it in Fog, but Anime Girl, there he is. He just shows up and immediately helps blow up Doxa. And with most of your damage gone like that, look at Meech's health. Only look at it.
It's fine. That's what I'm saying, right? And that was the problem right there, is you saw Trickster go in, right? The Cataclysm came down. Everybody was hitting Winston, though. And when you have those members in front of you, Winston's the last one that you want to hit, especially when Meech is on the backside, just popping off shots, dealing as much damage as possible. And that's what happens if you forget about this Jinx. Now it's going to be another fight here. It's on to Cozy, who just takes so much damage. Anime Girl is way okay with picking up several tower shots right there. Gets the wild growth from Trevor on top of it. And still just running away with this one. Taco Gaming really struggling.
The Anime Girl, we said he had the ability to excel in this game, and he's been doing just that. He's at 6-2-2. He's incredibly strong, and it shows in these fights. You see how much damage he's able to do with the Q. The true damage coming in so clutch. You saw it last fight with Doxa. You saw it in that skirmish with Cozy. And this is the backline threat that he poses here. And this is why he was such a dangerous pick for that Camille to come through. Taco Gaming, a lot of squishy members where if Anime Girl gets on top of them, they're done.
This is scary. Winston on the run. Lynx has to try to dodge out of this one, uses the heal, doesn't have flash up and available. It's Trickster going back.
Oh, big
in,
shutdown
though, with
Leech.
the Cataclysm, a big shutdown there. Winston takes down Rovex. Trickster gets locked up, and Shochi will be able to pick that one up. Anime Girl with the teleport. Shochi on the backside with that Realm Warp is able to do so much damage to both Doxa and Lynx, and only one member lost in Meech. Everybody else from IMT AOE staying alive and picking up the third dragon there now at Soul Point.
And this is the snowball you were looking for if you're IMT. Now they're up 4K, and this is their Soul Point, Jolly, and it's the Hextech Soul. Strongest soul in the game, the chain lightning damage, the slows coming through. 5 minutes, and IMT have the keys to drive us to a game 3.
I like that. They got the keys and they got their foot on the accelerator, that's for sure. Shochi really popping off in this one. I mean, now we've got 3 members across the board that have bounties on their heads. That would be 4, including Meech, if it wasn't for that big shutdown. But let's take another look at that fight, as painful as it was for fans of Taco Gaming.
Right, and they had the angle to go in here. Even though it looked good with the Cataclysm, Trickster picking up the shutdown, they know it was good with Anime Girl TPing in as well. And Shochi's at this point where he does a lot of damage. He can get aggressive, and he can use that Realm Warp to help set it up. Look at the damage.
Anime Girl could have gone in on that, but says, hey, you know what? I've got a hook shot. I don't need your Realm Warp. I can get into the fight myself if I want to. And he is providing a lot of damage here as we take another look at one of these quotes. This one is from Winston, of course, from the side of IMT AOE. Question, what makes you feel at peace? And we saw this one a little bit earlier. Shochi crashing 3 waves without dying. Shochi is just popping off this game, so good timing on that one. Only about a 5,000 gold lead in favor, now, you know, about a 4,000 gold lead in favor of IMT AOE. So not all is lost for Taco Gaming, but if these fights continue to be executed the way that they are from IMT, then Taco Gaming really doesn't have a ton of recovery available for themselves. So look at that. It is a teleport that's going to come through into this tower, but in the meantime, it's Lynx just getting melted here by 4 members. Rovex might be caught between a rock and a hard place. Shochi on the run here. Rovex has to flash away, uses the wish to try to stay alive. Super Mega Death Rocket just a moment too late, but it's because he already went down there. Lynx and Rovex both being gone. It's Cozy and Doxa on the run. Hextech Ultimatum once again onto the backside. The Stormbringer on top of it. So much damage now onto Cozy. Trickster is the final target, and they managed to find a clean ace here for IMT AOE. They can make a move right after the Baron spawns.
And that's it. It's on. It's there. Good to go. It's going to be a 20-minute Baron. And IMT are in perfect control of this second game here. They're going to be able to completely take this Baron. They're going to be able to threaten many lanes at once. We talked about how good of a split they have with Anime Girl and Shochi. And one more ace like that, and we're going to go to a game 3. Taco Gaming running out of options here. First things first, they have to somehow deny that Dragon Soul.
That is going to be a tough one to do because control of the map is definitely held by Immortals, especially considering the front line that Taco Gaming has been trying to utilize has really not been coming in clutch. And then on the other side with Winston and this Follow Bear, I said it already before, he has been absolutely everywhere and has really provided a lot for this team. But the positioning has been really difficult for Cozy. They are not able to dictate where they want to go. They have to respond and react to where Immortals are focusing.
Right, and part of that is because Immortals are constantly on the aggressive here. As soon as a bit of a lead started to grow, you could see Winston was constantly pushing it, making plays over and over and over again, and that's what he's been doing still this whole time, Jolly. Now, because of it, Taco Gaming in this position where the game is just kind of happening to them. And they're going to continue to lose more turrets while Cozy is on the split, trying to take something back. But again, tough spot. One more team fight loss, and IMT AOE, they win this game.
I like that quote. I read the answer before I actually read the question, and it was, you know, what if you were to pick an animal representative of you, what would that be? And I think it was Shochi there that said the imposter from Among Us. Maybe, I don't know. No, I don't know if all of us would consider that one an animal, but that's what you want to go with there. I like it. It's something. It's something. But it is IMT AOE at 22 and a half minutes, already just kind of demolishing the base that is here right now for Taco Gaming. The damage onto Lynx, onto Rovex. That was just a zap onto Rovex, and he lost like half of his health right there. So certainly not supplying as much as he would have hoped as this Soraka. These Baron-empowered minions all over this next tower.
just whittling
and this
them
is
down.
the last opportunity here. Trickster tries to go in, finds the Cataclysm. Everybody immediately jumps out of that. The Stormbringer onto the backside. Now it's just padding the stats here for IMT AOE as Anime Girl jumps in with the Hextech Ultimatum. Shira takes quite a bit of damage in response, but it's okay because Meech has found the double kill. Make that a triple kill. Can they find themselves a penta? This is the opportunity, but it's not going to happen because Romex finds the kill at 23 and a half minutes of bout. IMT AOE push this out to a game number 3 with the opportunity for a reverse sweep in our hands. Beatdown.
Taco Gaming had a great game 1, and IMT respond with an even greater one, ending the game that much sooner, snowballing the game that much harder. Where again, we saw it, they played for Meech. He was allowed to have the Jinx, and even though he didn't get the Penta, he played really well. Winston set him up so very well, and you could tell that this is the IMT that people were looking for, and this is the IMT that people who said they would win were expecting.
So basically, what it appears has happened is every time Lorlo says something, the opposite comes true, right? Because we saw on the desk before this game started, RMC was like, nah, I'm still with Immortals on this one. I still have faith. Lorlo's like, after that game, I don't know if I can put my faith into them. I have a good feeling that Taco Gaming is going to be able to run away with it. I guess if you don't have the Zoe, you can't perform nearly as much with Doxa here. So Immortals are going to push this out to a game 3 again. The opportunity for a reverse sweep, but we're going to have to see how things pan out in that game number 3. Until then, we're going to throw it to a quick break, then check in with Sierra and the rest of the desk to see if Lorlo's opinion has changed for a third time today. We'll be right back with more of the Proving Grounds.